MBTI, why introverts have a love-hate relationship with socializing, according to science. Research reveals why introverts adore their friends while dreading being among them. Although I am an introvert, I enjoy going out to eat with my friends and laughing so hard that my face hurts. We snap photographs, tell ridiculous jokes, and share humiliating stories that are too amusing to forget. Being in the company of such nice, honest individuals feeds my spirit. We strengthen our relationships as we commiserate, and I have the wonderful impression that I am not going through life alone. My buddies let me vent, taught me to laugh, and assisted me in moving on from the past. We discuss our children, marriages, mothers-in-law, and everything in between. We discuss our problems and wins, our goals and disappointments, our fears and dreams, and our future selves. Having friends and staying connected to them is really gratifying for me. So, why do I usually feel absolutely fatigued at the end of a wonderful night? Why do I lay in bed fearful of running into one of my pals at the grocery store and being obliged to make small talk? Why do I get queasy just thinking about the hundreds of words that were flung around indiscriminately that night? In other words, how can I love my friends while still dreading being with them? A study has provided the answer. Before we proceed, please make sure to like and subscribe because we wanted to continuously provide good content to you, our followers. Finally, study can explain why I enjoy and despise being social. According to a 2016 study released by the University of Helsinki, becoming extroverted initially makes us pleased, but it quickly leads to mental exhaustion and fatigue. The researchers conducted a 12-day study in which they observed how participants felt about their personalities, moods, stress, and exhaustion. They asked college students to note how pleased and fulfilled they felt after doing specific tasks, such as socializing. They also documented how fatigued and anxious they felt at certain points. As previously stated, the researchers discovered a link between pleasure and extroversion. They also discovered a link between pleasure and conscientious behavior, such as being altruistic or nice, but that's not what I'm going to explore in this piece. People who participated in extroverted behavior, regardless of whether they identified as introverts or extroverts, felt. But, just 2 to 3 hours later, that happiness had given way to exhaustion. Both introverts and extroverts were exhausted. The number of people they engaged with, the intensity of the contacts, and whether they had a specific objective in mind while studying or working all made a difference in how exhausted they felt. As you might expect, the more individuals the college students engaged with, the more exhausted they were. These findings are striking since they contradict the notion that socializing energizes extroverts. Extroverts, like everyone else, become bored at some point of socializing. And, contrary to popular belief, introverts require others, to some extent. A little mingling is beneficial to us quiet ones, if we can have our much-needed alone time afterward, of course. Nonetheless, introverts and extroverts have some very significant and scientifically confirmed distinctions. The study did not investigate whether different types of social engagement made introverts feel fatigued. Knowing what we know about introverts, I'm prepared to wager that activities like networking or plenty of small talk exhaust introverts more. Why is socializing so exhausting? Essentially, because it requires work. It takes a lot of work at times. Even in the most desirable company, the researchers say, controlling one's emotional expressions and behaviors to some extent, out of consideration for others, is typical. Interacting with people, especially in groups, necessitates paying attention and using our short-term memory. Furthermore, because not all social contacts are favorable, we are forced to deal with negative emotions and manage our behaviors even more. All of this necessitates work and, consequently, energy. As an introvert, I can feel the exhaustion in my bones. I now understand why I like going out with friends yet feel intellectually, physically, and emotionally exhausted on the same night. My body needs a few hours to assimilate my surroundings before I recognize that the socializing is exhausting. I adore spending time with my friends, but I also need a break from them after a while, even though we have fun and enjoy each other's company. I have modified my social behavior. I've made a few modifications to how I socialize after discovering this research and pondering on its conclusions. 1. Limit socializing to no more than 2 hours at a time. I've discovered that I can manage roughly 2 hours of conversing and being nice after some trial and error. That allows me to spend enough time with my friends and meet my desire for close human connection while also allowing me to establish a boundary so I can take care of my mental health. My closest friends are aware that I restrict my socializing time, and they assist me by making it simple for me to silently exit the setting. For example, during a recent baby shower, a friend allowed me to park in the driveway behind her house so that I could leave quickly. Thank heavens she did, since 30 women in a house may rapidly become unbearably noisy. When I've reached my social limit, I can go guilt-free since I did my bit by being present, being pleasant, and engaging in conversation. 2. I'll leave when I'm 70% finished. I used to attempt to socialize for as long as possible in order to get the most fun out of the night. Then I'd go home, ready to fall onto my bed, and my mental exhaustion would last all day. Now, I prepare for any occasions that would sap my energy by leaving social settings when I'm 70% finished. This might happen within an hour, or it can take up to 2 hours. I accomplish this by keeping track of how I'm feeling during the socializing. It takes me longer to reach 70% completion when I'm with a good buddy and can converse for a few hours. But there are moments when I'm surrounded by 40 boisterous strangers and my brain begins to melt into a puddle. So I assess my mood as if I were a petrol tank. Am I 70% filled yet? Even if I've just been at the party for 30 minutes, it's time to go. The faster my inner tank hits 70%, the louder the room becomes and the more energy it takes for me to be in that environment. I've learned to listen to my body, even if it seems ridiculous to leave after only 30 minutes. 3. Consider individuals as either energy providers or takers. I enjoy being around certain people. They radiate joy and charisma and are easy to converse with. We have deep, important talks at the appropriate moments, and these individuals are socially savvy enough to know when to stop delving further. Then there are those who appear to bring a cloud with them everywhere they go. It takes effort to talk to them, and every line you speak appears to chip away at your mental health. Being with these folks depletes my vitality. When people come around and want to converse, I can feel my back drooping and my head falling. Engaging with them is draining and challenging, and burnout sets in very rapidly. When I come across someone who fits this description, I strive to keep my dealings with them to a minimum. By merely being around me, they are exhausting my mental, emotional, and physical endurance. Therefore, I need to find a way to cut it short and take care of myself. I've realized that being friendly to them by enabling them to ramble incessantly benefits neither of us. I'm not truly interested in what they have to say, and I'm not prioritizing my own mental well-being. So I make a point of smiling and saying something as simple as, "Hey, I have to run, but I really hope you have a wonderful day." Now I understand that I have mental and physical limits and that I must create boundaries. Some of us may be more outgoing and love mingling all night, but others may want completion after only 30 minutes. Regardless of where we fall on this scale, we must monitor our internal tank and remember that great evenings out with friends might lead to exhaustion later. We can balance our drive to socialize with our much greater need to take care of ourselves by acknowledging our boundaries. That is it for today. If you enjoyed this video, please remember to like and subscribe because we still donate $1 each month to SaveTheChildren.org for every new subscribers. See you again.